Hello, welcome back to my studio. Have you found that FUD is affecting your creativity? If you're not sure what FUD is and how this is impacting you, stick around, I'm going to explain it all in a moment. Yes, this video is still about painting and I'm going to be showing you a demonstration soon. But if you're not sure what FUD means, it's something that is used a lot in the investing world at the moment, and it stands simply for fear, uncertainty and doubt. Now, a lot of artists are struggling with fear, uncertainty and doubt. The world right now is filled with it, and of course mainstream media, its currency is fear, uncertainty and doubt. So my advice is stay away from that and focus on what's important, your creativity. And there are a couple of things that artists are specifically grappling with. The one is, of course, time. And I had such a great response to my video last week where I was talking about doing a painting sprint. Give yourself 30 minutes and complete your painting. And I've had artists sending me pictures of their work and how amazed they are with that process. So we've managed to find some time. One of the other things that is getting in the way, and a lot of artists are communicating this to me, is the economics. Things cost more money, inflation, all of those things. And what suffers is getting art supplies, or not getting a book or the DVD, or learning or taking something that might cost a bit of money. Now, there's an old expression I learned years ago, and that is about nickel and diming you into poverty. And I think a lot of that applies to spirituality and creativity. If artists are being kept isolated from creating through fear, uncertainty and doubt, and using perhaps the tightening economy as a reason to stay away from creativity, then that isn't really saving. That's, as I said, nickel and diming you into a creative poverty. Enough of that preaching. How does this apply to practical things? And it came across just this last week where I was working with a small piece of card and doing a painting on it, and I thought, I've always had the approach of use what I have and don't let things go to waste. And I don't regard that as skimping or as a poverty mindset, but rather a more of a one of appreciating what you have and making the most of it. So do something with what you have. And in this demonstration that I'm going to show you, I just worked with a cut-off piece of card like this. Sometimes I have bits of canvas. I will glue that onto some MDF and do little studies on those as well. Just part of training, but why throw it away? And the same goes for a piece of paper like this. This is watercolor paper. It's an offcut. Just put some gesso on it or some acrylic that you've got just to seal it, and then you can paint on it. And it's great for doing little studies and training yourself. I believe that if you spend 80% of your time teaching yourself how to paint, the 20% left over will be used to create amazing paintings. So never stop doing something each day to take your creativity and skills forward. No matter what people are saying out there, what counts is what you are saying to yourself up here and what you do. So that's the lesson over as far as the chat's concerned. Let's get into showing you a little painting I did on a piece of paper like this. Here's the reference with a nice light-filled road up ahead. And there's the paper, primed and toned with some burnt sienna. And my usual palette, Nothing different there. Getting straight in with getting the big dark shapes. So following a typical oil painting process, nothing outrageous, just having fun. I'm using a number 6 bristle brush to start this process off. And just sit back and watch the painting process unfold. I basically work from the big dark shapes, now I'm into some middle values and then the light colors, and then just follow these steps of refining where necessary. With such a small format, the big idea is to simply follow the light, show a light-filled painting at the end, and that's what makes me happy. It's amazing how much you can fill up in a small format like this, that you can really capture such a big scene with so much. All of these beautiful shadows in the foreground. It's going to make the lights stand out even more up ahead. When you're working with thick paint like this, it's one of the real joys of a loose and impressionist approach to painting. But you've got to know how to lift the brush up once you put the paint down. It's a disciplined approach, but still with a loose result. So kind of a conflicting sort of idea there. You can paint loose, but you still have to be disciplined in your brushwork and disciplined in your color mixing. And when you have to simplify a scene like this into a small area while still using large brushstrokes, you have to paint the idea. So you're going to have to leave out some things and you're going to have to forget about some details. So all you've got to do is figure out the big idea and try and capture that with an economy of brushstroke and not get dragged into the little details. Now I've switched to a slightly smaller brush and I'll finish the painting with this brush. It's not absolutely necessary, but this is now number 4, and that's about as small as I'll go, except perhaps to sign my name. But it still gives a large enough shape to kind of give an abstraction to details rather than dragging me into too many little details and fiddling about. Another nice thing about quick little studies like this is they help to actually build your confidence as a painter. It's not that you have to spend days or even weeks on a painting and perhaps having to abandon it because of other life commitments. This is something you can do in an hour at a fairly leisurely pace and enjoy it and have a result, and that makes you feel good. You've achieved something, you've got time left over for other things. It's just a fun way to spend a good quality amount of time with yourself to explore your painting and your creativity, and you emerge a much more relaxed and happier person, I think. So just a few final details. Things like telephone poles, I'll always try and put them in. Some sort of regular vertical shape helps to add a bit of contrast to all the organic shapes. And just a couple of final little accents, little highlights and little dark accents. And then that's it. That's when I am normally done. And then just leave it, walk away. When the painting's over, time to move on to the next one. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little demonstration, and I was very happy with this little painting. It's amazing what you can do when you just get started and do something. Now it's your turn to try something out. And if you are watching these videos for the first time, or first time you've come across my channel, remember there's a free little painting course to introduce you to important concepts of painting. You can find that up here and look in the link below as well, and find out what you can start doing right away. You don't need a lot of money, you just need action. Alright, now also remember to subscribe and just hit the notification bell so you don't miss next week's video. Well, until next time, happy painting and cheers for now.